Well, damn, boy. I just turned it on and it works. Cool. Okay, bye. Welcome back, everybody. And this episode, we're going to be taking some stuff off and putting some stuff back on. If nobody reminded you how great Snap-on is, this is a 15mm bolt. Yep, won't do it. Well, need an extension to get on this one, but let's see if this will do it. Oh, surprising. First step is we're going to take the converter off and get it back in the trans. It started leaking, so I don't want to make a mess. So I got the torque converter off as expected. That and that wouldn't break it loose, but that with minimal effort did. Fun. I'm going to go ahead and shove this guy in its new home and then start taking off the rest of this junk. Converter is in, and now I remember why I never got into big old heavy stuff when I was younger. That thing is heavy, man. That's the heaviest converter I've ever messed with. Seems how I already have the air dogs set up on the frame and everything that this is going to go in. I'm going to go ahead and remove the fuel filter housing, all of this basically. And it looks like I can basically just loop it back to itself and call it a day. Well, pretty much everything's off. All the wiring, I'm going to use what I have in the truck already and use the original bus wiring. Yeah, this stuff's kind of a mess. It's old. I noticed this motor is way dirtier than the one that's already in it, but it's got to be that way, I guess. Had a little nice piece of dash 10 line, which is just 1/2 inch, so hey, that should work. Looks like hell. They make a little bypass kit, but maybe that'll work for now. Got the PPE manifolds and gaskets. And so far this stuff's looking pretty good. We're gonna see how it all fits. Hey, not that bad, huh? Well, here's about all the fun I can handle. We got the motor and trans for this hooked to the trailer that I gotta put that on. So now I gotta move everything around until this is the main vehicle to drive. You were a good engine. Good for nothing. Backup cameras are for beginners. Do, 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 do. Well, we got here to my buddy's shop. We got the lift. We're about to tear this thing apart. When I say we, I mean me. And Andrew should get off around 5. Hopefully I got a bunch of it ready to go by the time he gets here. I'm gonna pull the intercooler, the pipes, get the wiring out of the way, and disconnect the battery first thing. Moving right along, we got the intercooler off. The transmission cooler, piping, intercooler, all the harness that goes inside, everything that goes to the body, flopped over. I got the brakes just because it will be easier to pull it up and let this just flop aside, because the wheel well goes down that way, and had to pull the steering column to get it disconnected. Well, there is one good thing about this. 90% of these wires are going away, which is nice. All this stuff that runs on the frame, everything that runs back there on both sides, it's all going to be taken away. I didn't really think about this, but that's not going to work anymore. I guess I'll have to delete it and go ahead and just run regular lines. That's okay. I'm still gonna keep the hydro boost though, that's nice. Motor mounts are unbolted. Just gotta unbolt the transmission, the 2 bolts for the transmission. I was gonna pull the converter and the belt housing, so I'm gonna do them separate. Pretty much almost ready to come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah. When I started this a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy Hyundai guy.
All because of a tune. Tis what it is.
It is what it is, yeah. I'm tired of people going, well, go to this person. They don't know anything either. You should beep that out, though.
I can probably beep it out. After a little bit, we got the torque converter bolts out. There's 6 on a Duramax. How about that? And then, so we got the transmission split from the bell housing to the Duramax. So we're pretty sure we're ready to pull the engine, but there's some electrical harnesses that are still attached, but we'll find them once it's lifted up. And I forgot my tripod, so you're gonna have to bear with us and whatever views you get. So the main wiring is underneath, and it's in these like plastic clips, and you can't get to them the way it is now. So once we lift it up, we can get to them.
Okay. You know, I used to lift Duramaxes when I was younger. About 30 seconds ago.
Yay!
Now we'll get that trans out and we'll push this hunk of shit out of the way.
We don't have a lot of time, so we got to push this thing real fast and get it out of here. Looks like we're gonna hit that trash can over there. So yeah, we got to get the chassis out and the motor. So we'll get back to you guys when we can. Okay, we're back. We already dropped the new motor in there, the LBZ, and the other one's sitting outside, so we still got to go get it, but we trapped ourselves with the engine hoist because we were rushing. The guy in the bay next to us had to be able to get out, and we were blocking the path completely with the chassis and the other truck and stuff. So anyway, here we are. The next step is to get the power glide. The next step is to get the Allison in place, but it's really, really heavy. And
you could put a power glide behind this.
But we're not doing that today.
We could. I have one.
I know you have one. So I'm not going to film this because insurance purposes. So hopefully we don't have any issues getting the trans in. We picked up the Allison. Boy, it's so much heavier than it looks, and it looked pretty heavy to begin with. But the good news is, it looks like we can still use the original trans pad, but we got to drill 2 new holes that's going to pass through. So Leon's got a set of bits, and that's what we're going to do right now. But I think we're getting really lucky with everything.
Yeah. The only thing that I know that's going to really screw us is, see the back of the trans over there. The floor actually hit the back of it.
Yeah.
And this one is probably 2 or 3 inches higher. So we're going to have to cut in the floor and the cross member that's in the floor.
Just to be able to clear the new trans. But it's all worth it. It's an Allison.
Compared to a 6L90, it's spectacular.
The greatest transmission ever made.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. The holes went in really easy, and it's sitting down on there quite nicely. So we're at the point where we gotta set the body back on because it's getting pretty late in the day, and we kind of want to get out of here. So we just gotta make sure that it's gonna clearance around everything, but we may have to slide the chassis left or right or front and back to figure out where the existing holes are. I forgot my mount for the tripod, so I can't really set you guys down. So we will show you once the body's back on. I made some progress, but we did get hung up. It's now about an hour and a half or 2 hours later than the last time we recorded, and you can see there's still quite a bit of gap from the top of the motor to the cut in the firewall. That's because the transmission is so much bigger, it's already touching the floorboards in the back. So tomorrow morning, Leon's going to come in and cut some reliefs in it so that we can kind of tuck everything up higher so that the body sits on the frame where it's supposed to. But for now, that's it. Obviously for them, it'll be like...
Well, me and Andrew left pretty late last night. Currently 5 o'clock in the morning, like 5:20 now, but anyways, I'm about to cut this thing up. Transmission's holding it up that much. This usually sits down there, so I think the best way is I'm gonna have to get a cutoff wheel, get this bench seat out of the way, and just hack it up around it. It sucks because it's the main support that goes across. I'll just build a tunnel into it and hopefully make it strong again, so all the doors and everything shut right. I'm not too scared. All right, got the seat kind of thrown out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and cut out this section. Hope for the best. Well, I couldn't get the camera to stay up while I was cutting, so here we are. Look how much the transmission sticks up through the floor now. Also, looks like the yoke is pretty close. I don't know if I want to build a tunnel all the way back or if I want to lower the back of the trans down. It definitely sticks up higher because now heat shield's almost touching, or it could be actually touching. before I had a little bit of a space, so it's tilted up. I mean, no big deal. I actually kind of like it because it gives it a little more clearance. And we're almost ready to get out of my buddy's shop. We just got to hook up the steering. I got the brakes done already. Waiting on Andrew to come on by. We're gonna get the steering shaft hooked up to the column, and then we'll at least be able to steer. I can do the wiring, the plumbing of the fuel system. I got to run some trans cooler lines. I'm gonna get a big old cooler for it. I can do all that later. But right now, done with the lift. Also ended up getting the 2 front body bolts in, and the rubbers are in the back, just sitting there, so it should just stay in place while I tow it back to Andrew's.
Alright, mother. Alright, so, hey, look at my shirt.
Woo!
Anyways, we're all done. Let's fire it up. I'm just kidding. Yeah. We're all done with using the lift though, so we're gonna open the door, push it out, and bring it back to Andrew's. Let it leak all over the new slab.
Yep.
He's so sad right now. Me too, actually. Anyways, yeah, so pretty much all we got left is make a coolant line. I'm gonna change the Y bridge. Hopefully it fits off of the LML. If not, then we'll remake it so like the piping fits. Everything else seems to fit good. Still gotta do the downpipe, and I got an exhaust off the other truck, but the problem is I gotta put the starter in. The other starter, it's got a broke tab on the solenoid, so we're gonna try to let's see if this one works, but I kind of wanted to get everything set up first. Alright, yeah, we'll try to push it. It should be alright. That was the most uneventful thing we've ever done. It literally just rolled back, we pushed it forward, and we're all ready to pull it up on the winch. So easy. Now that we got light work all loaded up, it's kind of like musical chairs because we still got to grab this old LML. So basically we got to swap everything around, unload the trailer, and then back the truck up to here, lift this up, put it in the bed, and then we got to clean up the shop. So easy peasy on camera. Right? Alright, I'm gonna back up to that thing and then we'll clean up the shop. Alright, sounds good. All cleaned up. Well, as good as a shop can be clean. Well, we went through a torrential downpour. Pad is soaked. And just recently we cut a bunch of tree branches to allow us to get to the good ground that's on the left side versus the loose sand that's on the right. The sand on the right is a killer for getting stuck. I'm sure you guys have seen it in previous episodes. Anyway, we've never done this with the ramp, so we're waiting to see how badly the trailer digs into the sand. Yep. Just a little bit of digging there. I mean, we might be able to unload light work without the ramps. Your poor license plate. Yeah.
I'll pull forward, we'll take the ramps out, put them aside, back up, put the ramps back, and we'll be able to unload it.
Yeah, that could work.
We'll see. Ready, Sanka? Yeah.
I am happy you hooked those brakes up.
Yeah, because we would have rolled it off either way.
Well, looky here.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's good. My battery's about to die.
Cool. I was going to put it in park, but we don't have that yet.
No drive shaft. Do we need a block or something?
Nah, it seems pretty level. Well, that's the end of this episode, guys. We'll see you next time, and hopefully we can take this thing for a drive. I say that every time.
Right. It would be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.